Peace. What's good, guys? How's it going? Hope you guys are doing well. Let's talk about and discuss Emergence for August the 12th, 2022. This Impact Plus event was at best decent. There were some low parts that I did not like, and there were some bullshit parts. We'll get to that. But overall, the show was decent. Let's start with the pre-show first. I didn't watch the first match. So, Brian Myers versus Pajinder Gujar for the Digital Media Championship. Myers retains via a exposed turnbuckle, and then he rolls up Pajinder to retain the title. Who gives a fuck? Brian Myers is stupid. Then we had Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie with Jessica versus Vex, Deonna Purrazzo, and Chelsea Green for the Impact for the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championships. I saw the last, I want to say, 7 to 8 minutes of the match. I didn't see the first, maybe, 5 minutes of the match. I think it probably went about, I want to say 15 minutes. But this was a good match, from what I saw towards the end. So Rosemary attempts to do the miss on, I believe it was Green. She misses, and she missed Valkyrie, and then Rosemary is taken out by a double suplex from Vex for the 1, 2, 3. So the new Knockouts Tag Team Champions, Chelsea Green and Deonna Purrazzo of Vex. This is fine. I like it. I'm down for it. I guess they're going to do a feud with Taya and Jessica and Rosemary. Because there are no real teams in the Knockouts Tag Division. There are no real teams. So it is what it is. But I am proud of Deonna and Chelsea. So, on to the main card. Mike Bailey versus Jack Evans for the X Division Championship. This was an okay match, a spot fest, as usual. It went on rather long, and I did not like that. This match, I think, lasted like 12 minutes. It still lasted maybe about 7 minutes. Mike Bailey wins via the Ultimate Weapon. I gave that 1 out of 5. Then we had a pep talk again from Eddie Edwards, hyping up and pumping up Honor No More. So there was that. And then Kenny King, he also vows to set a trap for Heath, who's been a thorn in the side of Honor No More as of late. Steve Macklin and Sami Callihan, they had a match, but it never got underway. Macklin attacked Sami at the entranceway before he could make his entrance. They brawled and all this other bullshit. Sami brings a chair into the ring. The ref attempts to take it out of his hand. Sami shoves him. Macklin shoves him. And then the two continue to brawl. Gave the 1 out of 5. But those two are going to face later on in the night. So, Violent by Design, Eric Young and Diener with Joe Doring at ringside versus Chris Sabin and Kushida. Violent by Design win. Right call. I thought that Saban was going to win because, Chris Saban, he's a god in Impact. Like, he can't fucking lose at all, period. So, Eric Young wins via the power driver. I gave that 2 out of 5. Then we had a really fun match. Horace versus Bandito. This was great. Loved it. Really good spots here. Bandito, he did a Tupe Suicida. He also did what Cesaro does, where he suplexes you over your head to the ring. That was really cool right there. This was a really fun back and forth match. It was just great. Really good spots here. Really good moves in the match. In the end, Bandito, he gets the win via the 21 plex. Really awesome finish. I gave that a 3 out of 5 because it was so fucking fun. So hopefully they can feature more AAA talent in Impact. So, Kenny King, he comes out and he cuts a promo. And he says that... Actually, no, before we get to that, Gia Miller, she interviews Vex, and they celebrate their victory for earlier on the pre-show. So yeah, moving on. So then Kenny King, he comes out. He hits the ring. He talked about making fun of Chicago and everything else, and lands on the law that he's coming to take out Heath. So he's distracted by the Macklin and Callahan brawl. Heath comes out of nowhere. He hits the wake-up call on King. Gia Miller's able to catch up with Heath, and he says to honor them more if they survive their DQ match, another DQ match with Bullet Club. He'll be waiting for them on the other side. And the crowd popped huge for that. Then we had Moose. He had a backstage segment. He denied the alliance that he and Macklin had formed. And then there was a brawl that ensued. So Gia, she started screeching and running away. And Sammy and Macklin, they started brawling again. Moose joined the fray. It was a 2-on-1 assault at first. And then Scott D'Amore, he comes out there, says that I knew it shouldn't have been a 1-on-1 match between you two. I'm going to go ahead and make it a no DQ. And Moose is banned from ringside. So we have your typical Sami Callahan match, your no DQ match. They all go the same. Crazy spots. Just stuff overdone to death. Steel chairs, steel steps. They brought zip ties into the ring. Macklin at some points was going to win the match, but it wasn't meant to be. So Callahan spikes him with the Cactus Driver 97 to win. I get that a 1 out of 5. I'm so fucking tired of Sami Callahan, and that was just a dumb decision by Scott D'Amore for doing it. Makes no sense. Makes no sense at all. Honor No More. Eddie Edwards, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, Vincent, PCO versus the Bullet Club. The Good Brothers, Ace Austin, Chris Bay, and Hikuleo. This was a fun match. They mentioned on commentary that they faced 9 times. Typical dives in this match. Everyone did their dives in this match. There was chaos towards the end of the match. Gallows choke slammed PCO when he was in the crowd through a table. Vincent, he did a splash. He did like a swan-tom to a table, taking out Gallows. Towards the end, Eddie starts whacking everyone that moves with a kendo stick on Bullet Club, and the Good Brothers, they attempt to do a magic killer on Taven, but Gallows, his arm gives out, and then Taven and Bennett, they hit the climax on Gallows for the 1-2-3, and Honor No More stays. So that was fucking awesome, and I knew they were going to win anyway. Honor No More is really what is keeping Impact afloat at this current time. Next we had, I gave that a 3 out of 5. Next we had Jordynne Graceher versus Mia Yim for the Knockouts World Championship. Very good match. Really good back and forth spots here. At times we thought that Mia Yim was going to win. She kicked out of Grace's Muscle Buster. Grace kicked out of the Code Blue. But she was able to counter Mia Yim's package power driver until the Grace driver to retain. Post-match, my girl Masha Slamovich, that badass bitch, she comes out and she stares down Jordynne Grace, hands her the black letter. Jordynne Grace opens the black envelope. Turns out to be her picture with an X marked through it. So Grace has signed her own death warrant, which is fucking awesome. I cannot wait. I'm so pumped for Masha Slamovich. I'm all for her being Impact Knockouts champion. I'm all for that shit. Let's fucking go. The main event, Josh Alexander versus Alex Shelley for the Impact World Championship. This was decent. Shelley, he wrestled more of a technical style here. He did a couple of dives in the match, not much. He basically worked the arms of Alexander. He worked the leg of Alexander. He attempted to lock in numerous border locks in the match. I mean, the Border City stretch. He attempted to lock like 3 of those in, but Alexander was able to dodge all 3. Shelley also hit, I believe it was 3 shell shocks, but Alexander kicked out. At one point he did 2 in a row, and Alexander kicked out. But it was a great match. In the end, Alexander retained via the C4 spike, and I gave that a 3 out of 5. So, no, I gave that a 2 out of 5. So, I mean, Emergence was okay. It could have been better. Nothing too monumental happened. I am glad that Masha has her eyes set on championship gold, which is great. Glad that Honor No More is still intact. It's interesting what they're going to do with Josh Alexander. It's interesting to see where he goes from here. It is, because really and truthfully, going into Bound for Glory, Josh has no opponents right now. I guess you could do a rematch between Alexander and Alex Shelley at Victory Road in September, but they need to go ahead for Bound for Glory. It needs to be Eddie Edwards versus Josh Alexander for the Impact World Championship. They need to make that feud happen, and I think it's going to happen anyway. That's where all roads lead. They gave us a glimpse of that last week. So overall, this was an okay show. Could have been better, but it was an okay show overall. So, thank you guys for watching. Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to my videos. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Promo.